Hi, the topic today is family business 6, and I'm focusing on choice. And most of the things I'll be talking about today, like I stated earlier on, will be coming from this book, The Big R of a Successful Business. So as I read it, I will explain some of the points. Like I said, choice is so powerful that God has given us this world. So the choice is power. The choice is so powerful that we have to decide who we want to be. We have to decide what we can achieve. Everything depends on our choices. So the choices we make today determines who we are. The choices will determine your destiny. So you either go left or right. So, but God, in His infinite mercy, has asked us to choose His own way. So choice is so important that you can't afford to miss it. When it connects to business, like I stated earlier, business is good because it's one of the ways we can release our potentials. It's one of the ways we can extract our gifts, because our gifts cannot come unless we place it into work. It can't really manifest itself until we marry our business, and through that business we give birth to our gifts. So through that business we give birth to our destiny. So that is why I spent enormous time discussing family business, because business is the key. So because we cannot continue to stay at other people. We can't continue to wait for other people to provide us everything we need. We can't continue to complain. We can't continue to protest when we have our 2 fingers, our 2 hands, we have 2 legs, and then we are not, producing enough. So the aim today is to empower you, to inspire you, to encourage you to start up your own business, because in that way, you solve your problem, you solve other people's problem, and then your own problem will be solved. So we are interdependent, and because we're interdependent, we can't make it alone. So making it alone is like a fool's paradise. That's why we need to come together. We need to engage in a business, because without a business there's no community, and without a business there's nothing we can do. There'll be no money in the community. There'll be no progress. There'll be no change. Because the only way to overcome your challenge is when you have change. The only way to overcome your challenge is when you have progress. When you have progress, either in terms of knowledge or in terms of words, you'll now be able to solve your problem. Maybe you want to buy something, but if you haven't got money, there's no way you can buy it. You want to buy a car. If you haven't got money, there's no way you can buy it. So that's why this change is essential for our growth. Because without growth, we can't realize our destiny. Without growth, we can't, become who God has created us to be. So this morning, while I was jogging, I was experiencing what the people who participate in marathon, experience. That no wonder they say business is like a marathon. So sometimes, like if you are engaged in jogging, sometimes the body will feel tired. There's the urge to give in. There's an urge to slack off. There's an urge to stop. So instead of going further, pushing their limits where victory is found, the urge to give in, especially when you are jogging. So I was jogging, and I was kind of having that feeling today. Say, look, what am I going to do? One man was telling me, I'll stop there and walk it. So the same way happens in business. Sometimes, some days are like that. You'll be tired. You'll be exhausted. If you feel like giving up, you feel like, saying, oh, I'm tired. I'm walking it, just like I felt like today, like walking the jogging. But I said, no, I'm not going to give up. So the same way applies to your business. So time comes, the business, the financial crisis, the uncertainties, the topsy of the economy, the people around you, the forces, these things can come into play. And when they come into play, they, you have a kind of talk in your mind, in your head, oh, why can't I stop it? Why can't I quit and continue with other things I'm doing? But marathon has shown us that, look, you cannot give in. You cannot afford to quit. You got to go. Because the future, the end, the finish line is in sight. The future is in sight. The success is within reach. So the same thing that a marathon person encounter is the same thing you encounter in business. So the urge is there to give in. But if you're giving in, that means you don't know the purpose. That means you've given in, you've quit in your life. That means you have decided to say enough is enough. And then you throw in towel. That's the end of it. So, but we can't. The battle is real. We can't afford to give in because that is the way it is. So in that process today, I mustered courage. The pace increased, the energy increased, the enthusiasm increased. I began, grinding it till I finally made it. So the same way in business. So it might be long coming, it might be difficult, but you got to go there. Because that is the only way you can establish yourself. That is the only way you can make a difference. That's the only way you can help another person. Because business is about helping other people, and in the process, you sort yourself. It's about, solving the needs and wants of other people. So as soon as you finish solving the needs and wants of other people, your own need is met. You solve your own problem. That's the advantage of it. And that is a principle of life. If you want to solve your problem, you got to solve other people's problem. In that process, your own automatically comes to you. So the aim of business is, is very, very important. Our goal here is to make you to start off a business. It's make you to take off. It's make you, to come out from your comfort zone. It's make you to wake up from your slumber and start doing something. Because we've had enough information. We have enough knowledge. This is a transformation time. Time to put what we've learned into practice. Time to execute it. Because you can do it. There is a tendency for you not to believe you can do it. There is a tendency to believe not to do something. But I'm telling you today, you are more than enough. You have enough. You are best equipped. You are ready to go. And that is it. You don't need to seek permission. You don't need to seek acceptance because already God has given you this opportunity. This is a golden time. This is a golden opportunity for you to make a difference. To bring a solution to your own life, to bring a solution to your own community, to bring a solution to your own country, and in the end, bring solution to the world instead of giving excuses. We've been giving excuses for God knows who, but now we've been blessed with a wonderful opportunity, especially the social media, whereby you can on your own, make things happen. They said a tiny hole can sink a ship. You are capable of moving the world. You are capable of making a difference. So stop believing in the lies people tell you that, look, you can't do it. Stop believing in the lies people project towards you. So in the end, everything is your choice. The choice to believe what I'm saying now and the choice not to believe it. I encountered the problem. I said, look, God, you created me. And before you created me, you walked me from the beginning to end and came back and made me. So I was made perfect. You've made me perfect. So, and on that belief, I have to work on. So I was saying, so I had a choice not to believe, what I know and what and believe other things. So the choice is yours. The choice is yours to believe that you are capable of doing it. The choice is yours to believe that you are beautifully made. So any other thing between now till the end of your life, it shows you there's a lie. Anything that is working against it is a lie. If somebody tells you can't make it, is a lie. Because already before you were created, God has said, look, you can make it. And he had given you everything, every opportunity, every money, every talent to make it happen. So if you are getting, another information contrary to this, that is a lie. You can't believe it. And it is your choice to believe the truth, because the truth shall set you free. So I'm going to read now from this book, because it's the book I've been using to teach for a while, and I'll continue to use it because it has a lot of knowledge which I can share with you, which can, make a difference. We can make you unstoppable. We can, revolutionize you, transform you, so that you will not be afraid of any other thing in life. It's the fear that, limits us. It's the fear that makes us to create a cocoon in our mind. And once we created a cocoon in our mind, then that means we will stay in a comfort zone. But comfort zone, do not help you to get to their victory. It doesn't help you to get your destiny. So you got to break away from that. Breaking away from that is by having a fresh mindset, to think things differently, to enjoy what you do. So the greatest words given to human by God is not life, but choice. We focus on life while we tend to forget that choices available to us, while we tend to forget the choices available to us. Without this choice, life itself is meaningless. The choice we make will determine where we get in life. Like I stated earlier, the choice is, everything is choice. You have to choose whether you want to be successful or not. You have to choose whether you can rise up to the task, whether you can rise up to the plate, whether you can rise up and do something instead of giving excuses. Because the excuse you give today affects you. The excuses you give today, destroy your destiny, destroy your identity. So because God has given us a choice, and this choice, if you utilize it, then you can get to the promised land. So I read on. People fail in life because of poor choices. God has given us the choice of free will as essential component of love. God gave us the same free will he possessed. God gave us the same power he possessed, the same will. The will he gave us is so powerful that we can even use it against God. And that is why God said, look, go to this direction. Don't use the will I've given you against me. But majority of us use this will against God. It's either through ignorance or through something I don't know. So, but now the light has come. You possess light. The opportunity is here now. Everything is here now. So make use of it. I'm reading on. God has, whoever we are, whatever we are, what matters is our choice. Do we respect our choices? Human beings as well as trees that do not have choices do not move at all. So let me read again. Humans might as well become trees that do not have choices and do not move. I do wonder when people say they are not worthy. They don't have enough. They cannot do anything. Prof, I'm crippled and my hands are tied. The reason we say this is because we ignore the choices and options we have available to us. So the thing is that it is what we think in our mind that paralyzes us. If you think you are poor, you are poor. If you think you are rich, you are rich. So the mind does not actually know the what exists and what doesn't exist. So it is you that allows it. It's what you're thinking. So you have a power, to expunge, to get rid of, nonsense things they feel, they taught you that is paralyzing you. And also you have a choice to imagine things, because God has given you the same, giving you image, the power to think, the power to imagine, the power to bring something into the real. So if you are telling yourself you can't do it, it's like let's say a bird born in a cage, sees other bird that sees flying as sickness. So because this is where he was born. He was born inside a cage. He never saw any bird flew. He has never seen any bird, flying. Because of that, the bird assumed that to fly is an illness, is a sickness. So the same way people think doing business is a sickness. People think going beyond the boundaries, hitting the boundaries and leaving the comfort zone is a sickness. They're afraid, they've said you're gonna die. But they don't know you're not gonna die. So it's this kind of thinking, this kind of slave thinking that is building a cocoon. This kind of slave thinking that is making us, that is so satanic about everything we're doing. Because by the time you begin to understand, it is your thinking that is holding you back. It is your thinking that is making you a slave. It's not the chain that people put you on your feet that matters. It is the chain you put inside your mind through your thinking. Because you might be thinking that you can't do something when you could. But your thinking has really made you to withdraw. It's just like jogging now. You might think you can't jog because that's your thinking. But once you set out, you move from your front door, you find out you can do it. And then you start doing it. So your thinking is the key. It's the mindset that holds you. It's the thinking that makes us like children. It's the thinking that gives us this slave mentality. It's the thinking that damages us. So, reading on, he said, I'm crippled and my hands are tied. The reason we said this is because we ignore the choices and options we have available to us. Jesus illustrated what choice means when he said, two people are in the farm. One is taken, the other is rejected. This runs both in our mind and in our physical world. I look at the story, then look at the story of the prodigal son. He made a poor choice of leaving his father to go outside his environment in which he was used. He suffered poverty and penury. When he realized himself, he turned back while there was still time. So, you see, your thinking makes you not understand your environment. Everywhere I'm talking, I always talk about environment because it is the basis of what we're doing. You cannot be bigger than your environment. So the first thing foremost is identify what your environment is. For goodness sake, your environment is God. Your environment is not universe. Your environment is not the earth. Because you are limiting yourself if you say your environment is here. Because if your environment is here, when you can't do something, you can't do it. But your environment is God. Because God always make environments bigger than the object or bigger than the thing itself. So our environment is God. God is bigger than us. But we are bigger than the earth. So that is why we can overcome it. That is why we can conquer it. That is why God has given us dominion. Because if our environment is this earth, and God gave us dominion, that means give us dominion, and it's actually the earth, that means we cannot dominate the earth. So your environment is very, very important, because if you are able to identify your environment, man, you become unstoppable. Your environment is God, and you cannot be above your environment. So get it right. The basic thing in life is to identify your environment. Now, because your environment limits you, but now, what is the environment? The environment is God. That means you are limitless. That means you can operate, you can overcome the world. That's why God said, dominate. You can't dominate something that is greater than you. So that means we are greater than the earth. That means this is not our environment. So identifying your environment is the key. So once you identify the environment as God, you connect to God. And once you connect to God, every other thing is finished. Every other thing is under your toes. Every other thing is under your beck and call. Every other thing is under your control. But if you are unable to identify your environment, that is where the key problem lies. That is where the problem lies. So if you think your environment is what you're seeing, that means if your neighbor says you can't do something, you cannot do it. That means if the government says you can't do something, that means if the society tells you that you can't do something, you can't do it. That means if your classmate says you can't do something, you can't do it. But the truth is, these things are not environment. Their environment is God. Just like the environment of a fish is water, the environment of a tree is soil, so is your environment is God. So you got to connect with your environment. One moment. Once you connect with your environment, which is God, you are unstoppable. It's like a shoot that connects with the sun. It's forever growing. You start making difference, start dominating. So once you connect with God, you start being fruitful. You start dominating. You start making a difference. So that is why today I'm asking you to make a choice of starting your own business. Because by the time you start your own business, you will now be able to solve your problem. And then my own problem will be solved. You'll be able to make a difference. Instead of begging, crying, weeping, and folding hand and think you're an ordinary person, that there's nothing you can do, that you need money, you need a person. You simply don't need these people because you are connected to the Almighty God. That is your environment. So I'm beginning to wind down now. I'm beginning to summarize. The theme today is choice. Choice is important in whatever you're doing. Make the right choice. If you make the right choice, you will be able to connect. You will be able to dominate. You'll be able to get that peace of mind. You won't be afraid of people anymore. You won't be subject to manipulation because you already know the truth. Satan cannot control you anymore because Satan only controls you because you are ignorant. If you are aware that you are a child of God, you are a son of God, who is Satan to come around you? If you are aware that you are so great, why will you be foolish as to not get ready, not get prepared, not get things not done? Why we don't do these things? Because of ignorance. Because the ignorance is that you don't know who you are. You don't know where you connect. You don't know your environment. The thought to your environment is the air you breathe, the people you are around. This is not your environment. Environment is God. Your human environment is not a person. So that's why you are capable of doing what God said you are, because you are great. Once you connect to God, you are not limited anymore. You are not subject to manipulation. You are not subject to slave mentality that is damaging everybody. You are no longer be afraid. If you are asked to do something, you can't embezzle government money because you know it affects everybody. It affects the government and eventually affects you. But because of ignorance, we keep on, believing in nonsense things, keep on believing in poverty, keep on that we are poor. And because of that, the poverty mentality increases. There is a desire to possess, there's a desire to rush, there's a desire to kill, there's a desire to be greedy because of ignorance. So starting your own business will make you, to ride into your future, to connect into your future, to leave the past and connect into your future and become successful. So if you want to get more of this information, you can get it from Amazon, this book, The Big R of a Successful Business. That's a great opportunity. Now is a great opportunity. We've been given a powerful opportunity. This is a golden time. This is not a time we have to sleep and be dreaming without actually getting into action. Thank you.